EA Sports. It's in the game.
At Christmas in 1995, all I wanted was one specific Super Nintendo game. Being as diehard of a fan of the Pittsburgh Steelers as a 6-year-old going on 7 could possibly be, I was crazy about all things NFL. Yearbooks, broadcasts, and of course NFL primetime with Chris Berman. But around this time, football video games started getting better and better, and Madden 96 for some reason was imprinted in my impressionable young mind as the most realistic and perfect a video game could possibly get. I did rent it once before Christmas, was enamored. This was going to be the best video game ever, and I could not wait. As Christmas rolled around, Santa Claus did not disappoint me. It's been 25 years now, and I'd like to look back and go in depth like no one else ever has on what was one of the quintessential video games of my childhood, Madden 96. So the menu for Madden 96, you have your Play Now, NFL Season Play, Front Office, and Records. So Records, you can actually set these while you're playing the game. If you go for a longer run than Anderson, I guess, did, a 51-yarder for Miami, you can do that pretty easily. You'll be given the option to go ahead and put your name in. So if you have a cart from, say, December of 1995, your records from all the way back then can kind of be kept, and that was a really cool feature back in the day. We're not used to this today, but in 1995 and 1996, it was really cool to even keep track of player stats for a single season. So kind of having your all-time, this was the best kick I ever made, this was the longest pass I ever threw. Very cool to have that option, and not something we were used to at the time. So, of course, I think all of mine have A on my original cart. You have your scouting combine records, which you'll get into in Front Office. So, Play Now is just kind of an exhibition game. You pick one of two teams. You want a team, and you have a team you're up against. And you play a game, you can set the stats from there. So, the team select is really cool because they have these ovals instead of I guess like an actual helmet logo or whatever the team's actual logo is at that time. And that felt very, feels very 1990s to me. It feels very 1996 specifically. Everything should fit into an oval and pop out a little bit. So it goes alphabetical from here. It starts the Super Bowl matchup, which that year the Niners, I think, really crushed the Chargers, who had beaten my Steelers in the AFC Championship game. So the Niners are obviously the best team in the game, aside from some of the special teams we'll go over in a little bit. You can see every team's overall ratings, quarterback, wide receiver, of course, they're stacked. And pretty cool, there's some images of certain players in the game that you can see. You can go through who those players are here. I guess to give you an idea of who the star power is on your team. So obviously, Steve Young, Deion Sanders, Jerry Rice, Brent Jones. And you can kind of get a feel that this is a passing team from that. Of course, Ricky Watters is on the Eagles in this game. He had left the 49ers. But looking through, there's a rating for linebackers, but there's nothing for defensive line or cornerbacks. So obviously, you're going to know more about your offense than your defense when you're picking your teams. The Chargers have an overall of 65. I never could really figure out the overall rankings in this game, what it actually meant, because on paper here, there's some good stuff, just the bad wide receiver core. Junior Seau, Stan Humphries, Natrone Means, is Ronnie Harmon, Leslie O'Neal. This man's like, that's a pretty good team. But they get to 65, and then like the Seahawks 52. I think most teams are kind of poor, except then the Buccaneers. I thought were pretty terrible. Are better than the defending AFC champions, as are the Arizona Cardinals, and look how good the Atlanta Falcons are. And then, of course, there's the All-Madden team. The All-Madden team is an all-star team that's... there's no AFC All-Stars or NFC All-Stars in this game. There are no Pro Bowl teams. But you do get the All-Madden team, which is, of course, 99 ever, except for 98 receiver. And this is kind of like a who's who in the entire game of, who is every basically good player. It's available. A couple surprises here, like Alvin Harper. I wouldn't have told you, like, oh yeah, that's one of the guys you have to have. I think he ended up in the XFL. So not really like, I guess, one of your all-star talents in the league. But Reggie White, RIP, of course. John Randall, O'Neal. And then a couple of these guys are like, so like Kevin Green, an outside linebacker, playing inside linebacker. So some of these guys aren't even starters, but because they have their picture on a different team, they get their picture here. And I think Woodson's on this team 3 times. Yeah. It's like Aeneas Williams not even starting. And then a weird thing with the All-Madden team, though, is it doesn't fill at every position. There's some guys that are just like random numbers. Like there's no kicker or punter in the All-Madden team. There's just generic number players. So one thing about Madden 96 and Madden 95 does not have are the expansion teams. The Panthers and the Jaguars entered the league this year. The Panthers are actually decent, and that's across the board in like the 1995 football games. I've played. This was one of the better years for sports video games ever, or NFL video games ever, in my estimation, because Madden 96, but then Tecmo Super Bowl III are the same rosters as Madden 96, same year. So the Panthers make the playoffs every now and then in that league, or in that game. You see, Dwight Stone was a big deal in Pittsburgh for many years. I think their quarterback Steve Berline maybe in this game, unless he was, no, it's Frank Reich. Steve Berline is with the, let's go to them, the Jacksonville Jaguars, who may surprise some people. You get a nice little blurb about every team here. The Jaguars are, I guess, awful, but they got Steve Berline, and that's all. I don't know if the Chiefs blurb saying they mainly help their defense to win games is saying their defense is really bad and need to be good, or they've got Marcus Allen, who you have to figure it's nice to have, and then Ronnie Lott. I think it was Neil Smith. Obviously, the Dolphins, you got Dan Marino, but Irving Fryer, OJ McDuffie. So they got some receivers. Definitely you want to, and you can kind of guess just based on who your pictures are of how you should kind of call the game. Every team has the same playbook. Warren Moon with the Vikings, John Randall, Quadri Ismail, Chris Carter. So definitely, you want to run more wide receiver sets with the Vikings than you do with, say, the Steelers. Yeah, with Jim Everett at the helm here, look at that overall rating of 20. Saints really not given a lot of respect in this game. Okay, so you get the 30 at that time NFL teams, and 31 if you count the All-Madden team. But then there are secret teams in this game that you can kind of get the chance to play as, rather than just going with the standard 30 you have there. And the way you actually unlock these is by winning the Super Bowl with your team. And from there, you can get a code that you can put in. And some of these are just impossible to remember. I can't remember all 30 of them, even having played more of this game than I'd probably care to admit, but some of these you'll never forget. For example, the Detroit Lions from 1995. Well, who are the Detroit Lions in 95? They're Barry Sanders, and apparently Chris Spielman, Herman Moore, and Scott Mitchell, if you like. But really, they're Barry Sanders, right? So if you hit BARRY, you get the Detroit Lions team with 1962, the pride of Motown. I think that's probably one of the oldest teams available. So I think there's a way that you can play as the developers with the Jaguars and the Panthers and the NFL free agents, which are, in this game, not a real team, just blank slates for the Panthers and the Jaguars, by putting a code in for them. I don't remember the code right now. The only other one I can kind of come up with off the top of my head are my Steelers. Of course, I've beaten the Super Bowl with them many times, and actually this team went to the Super Bowl, so I'm not an NFL guy anymore. I like college football just much more. It's not anything more than just getting more into college football as the years went on. But the Steelers code is LAYBR, LAYBR, and that gives you the 1978 Steelers. Really good team. Steelers, though, despite that overall ranking of 59, I'm not sure, again, how that formula really works for this game. And 20 wide receivers, whereas I remember this being like one of the best receiver cores I ever remembered seeing for the Steelers. Rod Woodson, of course, he was out for most of this year, but he was absolute stud. Greg Lloyd, Neil O'Donnell, he made a Pro Bowl once. Eric Pegram, who, actually not your starting running back. You have Bam Morris ahead of him. Ron Stark, your punter, so for whatever that's worth. Of course, Kevin Green, the other linebacker spot. This was a defensive-oriented team. And the Chargers beat them a couple times in the year before this. Or rather, they played them a couple times. I know they beat them in the championship game. And the Rams have Jerome Bettis, who definitely a Steelers legend later on. A new-look offense for the Jets with Boomer Esiason. Feels very new-look. Let's go ahead and just play the Jets. So you can pick here on the game setup how long your quarters are. God help you, if you want to go for 15, you have the option. You get to pick the stadium. It doesn't really matter. As far as I can tell, there's not really anything here aside from the dome stadiums not having wind. Penalties all or pass interference off. Rosters modified or original. Basically, if you make trades in this game, you can play with the trades, new created players we'll get into, or you can just play with original, how it looked before you made any changes to the game. And then B, for some reason, locks you in, I guess, in case you're playing with multiple players and you don't want to really mess with them. So here you get kind of a nice breakdown of like who's gonna what, and here you can see secondary, defensive line, stuff you can't see ordinarily. And actually, you can't see range, accuracy, speed, or scrambling, I think, anywhere else in the game. Maybe speed you can see on the player trade screen, but like for the most part, these stats are only accessible here. So kind of hard to actually figure out who the best players are in the game. This all said, this was always a game where I couldn't really always tell if there's a big difference between players. Not like Tecmo Super Bowl III, same year again, where you can really tell when you're playing with a good player and you're playing with somebody who's awful. This game, not always sure if there's a big difference in like your pass accuracy and your range. Speed, I feel like you can tell. Scrambling, I'm not sure what that means if not speed. Then there's actually different ratings for those positions. So like your break tackles, your agility, speed. Agility and break tackles weren't available at that last screen for quarterbacks. But the funny thing is, I'm pretty sure agility is available in a different screen in the free agent menu with the quarterbacks. So I suspect that those ratings are all there for every player. and you just don't really get that whole picture anywhere or any one point in the game. There's probably more ratings that you just don't see. Again, how big of an effect that it has on gameplay, I really couldn't tell you. So hands, I don't know. It's weird because it seems like, you know, there's a fair amount of just tipped passes in this game in general. Whenever you're throwing from behind the line, it doesn't really seem to matter what your quarterback's accuracy is or range. It's likely or very possible to get bad at line anyway. An offensive lineman weight is one of the... So, shout out to Pelele there. He's the weightiest guy on Steelers line, just ahead of Leon Searcy. And pass block is in there, run block is in there. I feel like Dermontti Dawson's a little bit underrated. And no weight here. I remember we were kids, we thought Brinson Buckner was like the fattest guy on earth. But Steelers, of course, usually play a 3-4, which means Jeff Skinina, or Zigonia, but it was actually pronounced Skinina, is not going to see a lot of action for you if you play the way the Steelers actually played. Now, I've been playing this game for 25 years, so there's certain things I like to do that kind of cheese the game. And then that's actually like cornerback 1, cornerback 2, cornerback 1, cornerback 2, so Deion Figures and Rod Woodson are your starters. And if you haven't been doing this for a long time, hard to actually know who you're going with. Here, on the other hand, Darren Perry and Carnell Lake are your starters. And then Myron Bell actually played a big role for that team. Ford was not the Steelers kicker this year. I think Norm Johnson actually was. But, you know, they had to get the rosters in at some point. So this is really cool. You get an introduction, like kind of a pregame talk that they do on TV. Where they talk about the teams, and then they have some like little blurb about like individualized for the players. And this is different every game. You know, sometimes you get the boy is he ready to play for both players, but for the most part, it's, you know, a little bit more individualized than that. Right, so we're going to cheese a little bit here, because I want Cordell Stewart in. Again, I'm not sure it makes a difference. Get your coin toss, of course, like if it's snowing, the field is kind of tinted white. I'm not sure if there's a big difference with like slipperiness or if it's just a cosmetic change. Again, Tecmo Super Bowl III maybe has the edge there. Now, back in those days, you always received. There was no reason you would ever kick off to start a game, which is really funny because nowadays, I think most of the time people do defer, or teams do defer to start a game. Back then, that wasn't the case, and really, the NFL was a different, football was a different sport in 1995 than it is today. And there's no late hit, so take full advantage. Okay, so listen up. I hear a lot of people say there is no defense in this game. That's not true. Run 4-3 Wrangler, put Greg Lloyd in nose tackle.
42, red, 40.
And watch the fireworks fly. You can do that all game if you really want to cheese. But we'll go to 3-4 here and run an actual play. We're running linebacker blitz here, which brings both outside linebackers in. The Steelers have the two best outside linebackers in the game, so it makes sense. Darren Perry making that touchdown-saving tackle. Speed is really weird in this game, where it seems like if you're moving in a straight line, you're going much faster than you would otherwise on a diagonal. You want your shoulder square to the end zone as often as you can, just because it seems like you go faster doing that. So if you hit your R button, you kind of change up how you show blitz. Kevin Green going to make the interception here. I'm sure that didn't happen a whole lot in real life, but okay. So cheese play here, hit Y, then B. This will take you to halfback toss, and depending on what the defensive formation is, this can usually pop for a pretty big game. Start spinning.
First down.
So you can actually flip your play with the X button here. So you can run to the other side if you like. We're going to do this a couple more times just to talk about the formation here that you want to see for this. So there's no outside linebacker on your right spot on your screen. Looks like a 4-3. You've got distance, and as long as that cornerback doesn't get you, you're going to pop off a pretty big gain with this.
First down.
We've got Cordell Stewart, so let's try deep outs here. In the shotgun formation. And you can usually get a little bit of a run here. Actually, another way you can do this is fake punt pass. This will give you the same opportunity where you want to get your shorter square to the end zone.
Touchdown.
And Ron Stark can run for your touchdown there. Again, this is a game that's thought to be one of the hardest ones in the series. And those are just a couple of cheese plays you can use whenever, I guess, life gets too tough to really change it up for you. And then if you get in the right defensive formation here, you can get a 2-pointer easy. Now here's a really fun feature this game has. It's especially fun if you're playing in playoff and season mode and you just want those codes and you really don't want to sweat out through a whole game. If you go down to end game now, there's nothing to stop you. You hit end game now, the score ends with the current game, and if you're playing season mode, that counts as a victory. You're 1-0 in the standings, you go on to the next week. Obviously, we're not going to endorse that here, but that's a thing you can do in this game that I don't think they let you do in the more recent Maddens. I haven't really played one in around 10 years at this point.
Red.
So there's an example of just, it seems like there's a lot of batted or dropped passes in this game. Wasn't a very good reason that pass shouldn't have been completed to Boomer unless there's something with hands, like is the hands rating the percentage chance that they actually catch the ball, because a lot of those guys are in the 60s and 70s.
First down.
We'll go ahead and show some blitz here with the outside linebackers. So that one's tipped. A lot of tipped passes in this game. That gunshot means we end the first quarter in nice mode 7 rotation graphic there. Okay, so we've been playing a lot of 3-4, a lot of 4-3. Again, L, R lets you kind of move around, show different blitzes. You can go into every play.
First down.
One cool thing, you can do a double split end or a double flanker with dime. As far as the routes tree goes on offense, it doesn't always seem like they're exactly correlated to what you think they're going to run. There's the little line drawings you can see down there at the Jets on what the plays are. Doesn't always seem to. It seems like they just are going to try to get open. A lot of the earlier Madden games had these windows where you were trying to just pass the ball, and you had a window up top for where the receivers were, but you couldn't really tell where they were in terms of the actual field. This game dispenses with that. The angle is such where you can see downfield well enough, and the good thing about the nice 6-button Super Nintendo controller as opposed to the Genesis. Now, as a user block there, thank you very much, is that there's with that controller we have on the Super Nintendo, we get a lot of different throwing options. There's some check down routes to the halfbacks that you might not get if you are using the 3-button Genesis controller. Of course, there is a 6-button Genesis controller as well.
Red 42.
Now, the speed on the Genesis version is always thought to be basically better, and I've not played a lot of Madden 96 on Genesis. I actually played a lot of Madden 95 on that console, which was, I would tell you, a pretty good video game. This one's gonna be tight.
Touchdown.
He's gonna complete that one. Nice looping rainbow throw. Pretty double covered, but he got it in. And I imagine here they're actually just gonna go for the field goal. Let's see. Yeah. So they're gonna kick the extra point despite being down to 1 point. And count on that vaunted New York Jets defense to stop us, but I think we are in a pretty close to halftime situation here. We do get the ball at the half. And apparently we're going to have some trouble kicking a field goal.
First down.
Yeah, so 1:40 left. There's this Madden formation here, which is basically an I form. It has some cool plays, though, including the bomb. Let's see what defense they call. Okay, so we're going to be able to halfback toss it on them. And, oh, gets past the receiver. There is a hurry-up offense in this, but it really makes more sense just to call your play. And that was an accident, double-clicking B. But we're going to have to punt here. A weird thing is, when I was a kid, I was absolute expert at nailing the coffin corner punts. So they're going to have a chance to score here before the half.
First
I
down.
couldn't do anything. Go to dime tight man as opposed to loose man, I guess. And they're in that near far formation. We'll go back over the formations in some pretty good detail once we get the ball back at half, I assume. You can hear that nice 2-second loop of crowd noise. Now in Tecmo Super Bowl, once that ball is tipped up in the air, that's it. It's never being caught again. But it does get caught in Madden, and I've had some pretty memorable tipped passes catch and score a touchdown. Oh, he's going to get the first down.
First down.
Probably call a timeout here. You get that nice kind of menu music. I think the music was done by Tommy Tallarico, who I feel like is a big deal in video game music in the 90s. And after a timeout, there is no crowd noise, weirdly, but this happens every time. Picked off by Darren Perry. It's a user pick. Have a chance with this one.
First down.
Wide. Oh, tipped. He's wide open, though. I think I had a good shot to make something happen there. Tipped every play. And that can actually happen a lot in this game. There are a lot of tipped passes just like that. So at the halftime here, you can take a look at your audibles. So there's actually a skill level. I don't think you can set this anywhere else in the game. You can set your audibles, penalties all, pass interference off, music mode on or off, play call mode, the direct mode, and the bluff mode. It's basically like, are you trying to fool the other player with how many options you have? Let's go ahead and change it just to show it. Auto catch mode, obviously. Passing mode, 5 receivers versus single receivers. I've never played with single receivers. I guess it's like, are you throwing to just your primary read? But spin move's gonna work out well for us there. We bounced off with, I think that's Henry Bailey, but I don't actually remember him. All right, so now we're in direct mode, and basically this is just, we're not trying to fool anyone. This is the one play we're picking. Or were we in bluff mode there? Quick pass to Bam, and then we're going to try for a short yardage gain here, although always a chance this one pops off for a big one, and did. So you have a very good chance with that play of breaking the long rush record. Okay, so near far was what we just were doing there, where you have the offset back to your one side. Single back. Gives you one tight end, one running back, 3 receivers. Pro form gives you the 2 halfbacks, or the halfback, running back, 2 wide receivers, and tight end. Nothing doing there. Then run and shoot is basically 4 wide receivers, 1 running back. And it's not actually what run and shoot means, but back then, close enough, especially for video game purposes. Always hit A for that spin move when you're about to get tackled. It'll help you bounce off.
Touchdown.
So when you get a touchdown, L and R make these noises. Y whistle, B horn, A whistle, X horn. But Murph Pow on L and R are your always gonna be your 2 favorites here. We'll just go ahead and kick the extra point. We're already up. So in later iterations, that kind of hand-drawn referee signal turned into something like computer 3D modeled, like Donkey Kong Country or something. And that's pretty much where all the development goes into after Madden 97. Madden 97 and 98 are pretty famously just about the same game.
First down.
Like man zone. Shows some blitz. You want free safety playing nose tackle. And that was a big play because that was the halfback toss play. They send it over to the other side, which you're going to have better success going to the right side. Just maybe it's familiarity. Maybe it's just the way the defense lines up. But you can always flip it, and the computer likes to flip plays. Got my hand in there. Yeah, it's playing on the line. Rod Woodson will break that one up. X kind of jumps, and I think that's how you do interceptions as well. We'll send Dion Figures back and play safe. So on occasion, like a nose tackle grabs it when you just do safe. In this case, Rod Woodson got there despite the attempt. Okay, so we're getting through the formations. Here's the I form. Running back, fullback, 2 wide receivers, 1 tight end. Very standard stuff. Now a shotgun. You know, obviously quarterback, back, running back, offset. One halfback shovel pass play. Running back offset, 1 tight end. You're usually going to have a tight end on the field in this game. Oh, he should have caught that one. All right. We need a lot of yards, and whenever you need a lot of yards, your best bet is usually to go run and shoot. Ah, couldn't get it off in time. All right, so 4th and 36. Not really a makeable down and distance, even with the fake punt pass where you run with it on the fake punt pass being one of your best options. A lot of hang time. But 21-yard punt.
First down.
I guess I didn't hit that one right. But so the Jets here are in a position where they've got to score and get a 2-point conversion in this quarter. That'll help. If they can't get them both, they got to get the onside kick. So this is going to end up being a pretty fun game. And we've got Bam Morris to ice the game if we need to do that. There's not a lot of very effective running plays in this game. Nothing touches halfback toss. But sometimes that pro form halfback toss go to the left and get you some yardage.
Touchdown.
Oh. You get your personalized signs in the end zone there. For Steelers, it's Hot Rod, and I think Steal a Victory, STEEL. I think each team has 2. Just blitz just about everyone here, and got lucky. Darren Perry getting home on a 2-point conversion. So I have to audible here, I think.
First down.
So they tried the onside kick. They couldn't get it, so we're going to go ahead and give ourselves the luxury of trying halfback toss once to see if we can't break the game open. So, see, I mean, that's a game-breaking play. And Bam Morris, not the speediest back, breaks tackles very well.
First down.
But I wonder if he did that with Barry Sanders against the right team. Probably the right team is the Jets here. Just guess based on, they've given us that 4-3 defense with no one over there every time. So you can probably break one from anywhere to the end zone with the right running back and the right luck. We'll try a sweep right here. Is there a fullback pass? I want a fullback pass because we've got John L. Williams in the backfield. Who's sure-handed. How many timeouts left? 1 timeout left. So you can do motion left and right with one player, and you don't get to pick which player it is. It just kind of happens. You can move them left and right to check the alignment. A 3rd and 15. So I'm going to run deep outs here, but I'm actually just looking to run the ball with Cordell Stewart. I think I got the first down, and that's perfect to ice the game with. Yep.
First down.
Interesting thing is when you look at stats, we're going to go ahead and do that now because we're running out of time to do it. You have game stats. It'll give you score, plays, yards, rushing attempts. Obviously, we're going to do a lot of those because our completion percentage speaks for itself. 3rd down ratio, 4th down ratio. And we haven't actually forced the Jets into a 4th down all game. Perfectly even on possession. We you've had those 2 interceptions, though. Hard to believe it's only been 2 deflections. I feel like the Jets had 3 on one series. And then, team stats. You see everything from your whole team. You can see this in season mode too, which is really cool, but one thing about it, there is no rushing yards for your quarterback. So let's say you're Cordell Stewart, you run a lot, 15 yards in that carry. You know, he would very possibly be sets receptions 1 for 7 yards, but Bam's run for 111 yards. But you can't see how many yards Cordell Stewart runs for, and that's a shame because there's a chance, you know, he could be your best player here. Ron Stark, for example, ran for a touchdown this game, but that's not going to show up in the score sheet either. So we can go ahead and ice the clock here a little bit. We're going to run a quarterback sneak. I wonder what wishbone is, though. Some option plays, apparently. Let's try wishbone. And you're into wishbone. As your on top right play clock.
Touchdown.
I ran as a quarterback sneak.
Pow, 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 pow.
Let's try it again. Let's just hit a button during it and see what happens. Oh, so the R button arrow, pitch it. So you can run a little bit of option offense in this game, apparently. You can see, actually, I think Cordell probably could have ran that one in if I really wanted to. So Jets do have a chance to actually take this one to overtime yet. They're going to have to... We'll run the prevent defense. They're going to have to bomb it and score a touchdown on this play and then get the 2-point conversion. But, you know, you watch enough football. So this is a real problem because that was technically speaking a drop pass, even though it looked like he ran with it and like pitched it. It was a drop pass, and the issue is if that one, when it goes up in the air, there's a chance a Jets player catches it and emerges from that pile. I have seen that happen once or twice in my time playing this game. That should do it. Of course, the clock does not stop on a first down in pro football, so they're not going to be able to get this one off. Now, pretty cool scene here where they give you your offensive player of the game, defensive player of the game. I always like this because, you know, you see the players running off the field. And this just reminds me of what my vantage point was in Old Three Rivers Stadium. I used to go to games with my dad there, and this is almost exactly what it looked like at halftime. They give you the nice TV. This has been a presentation of EA Sports. Start to get out of there. You can see score summary. I do like that. It feels very newspapery to me. NFL records, if you set any of that game, kind of give you something to shoot for. Then take you back to the menu. Okay, so that was play now. We're actually we've done records, or we're actually gonna move on to front office because this is a really cool thing you can do where you can create a player and run a combine to get them into the draft. You can also practice all the events, set your rosters. So, I mean, I don't think there is anything. We'll go ahead and just reset it. And delete players if you have any that you created on the NFLPA team. So when I say NFLPA team, these are your free agents. Now in Madden 97, they did something really cool where they actually put real NFL free agents on this team. Here it's just a bunch of generic players, all with the name free agent. No speed, no stats, basically. also do trades here. Or, I don't know, just for example, you want to put Jerome Bettis on the Steelers, you get the commissioner of the NFL in a very 1996 tie, isn't it? The Steelers now have Jerome Bettis. And if you wanted to, there's a bunch of ways to do this, where you can just go in and like kind of change where you have players. And the one issue of doing it this way is always a chance that you screw up the player roster numbers. Or like if there's already a 33 in the Rams, you mess up their number for like in perpetuity. But the Steelers have 36 Jerome Bettis starting now. And then you see in the top right, there's a memory. So there is a way that you can actually, that's it, that's all the trades you can get to. I've never approached it. But let's set up a new player, and let's just do, you can do a first and last name with a dot here if you want to. Or you can just do a straight last name. We're just going to do a massive humanity here. Let's put on the Panthers. Quarterback. Do number 1 or 3. Okay, so then here's the drills that you do for this. Whenever you create a player, instead of just getting to put in their stats, you have to run drills and just see how good you are. The 40-yard dash, obstacle course, and Coach Rogers are on every single player, regardless of position. From there, the rest of them are based on what your position is. So for a 40-yard dash, you just hit Y and B as quickly as you can. And I think your weight does have something to do with how fast you can actually do this. But I'll take 70 for a 380-pounder. And this is your agility. You just hold in B and go left and right. And I'm not sure. I think your acceleration will be based on your weight, but I don't think your actual like ability to move your player is. Left of the blue, right of the red, in between. We're not going to have a very good score here at all, but that's all right. I haven't done this in quite a while. So it is kind of like a cool way of getting the mini games in like NFL Quarterback Club does. They're probably not as much fun as the NFL Quarterback Club mini games, but they are here, and this was a really cool thing for back in the day. 70 is not bad. Okay, Coach Rogers just Simon says you hit left, right, up, or down based on what he tells you to do.
Right. Left.
When I was a kid, I would intentionally just mess this one up.
Left.
Because I didn't like it.
Left. Down.
But now my pride is on the line, and we gotta see how we can do with it.
Left. Down. Up. Left. Right. Left. Down. Up. Left.
You can actually play along.
Left. Right. Left. Down. Up. Left. Right. Left, right, left, down, up, left, right, up. Left, right, left, down, up, left, right, up, down. Left, right, left, down, up, left, right, up, down, up. Left, right, left, down, up, left, right, up, down, up, left. Left, right, left, down, up, left, right, up, down, up, left, down.
Oh. All right, so pretty good, though. And passing range drill. I think this is one, yep, Y and B, and then you hold X to get to a throw angle. This is a pretty tough one. Not one I've done in quite a while. 30 yards, Chad Pennington. I think your best 2 out of 3. Missed the X button. Get one more shot here. Oh, I know I hit it that time. All right, so pretty bad one. And then this one you try to score. Starts off with, you can move backwards a little bit if you need to. When you have the one defender, your move is hit Y button and kind of spin move toward your corner. You will make it. But once that second, third guy comes in, it gets a whole lot harder. Yeah, see. So we're not going to get the same success there. Almost got to the edge that time. But now we got the third guy, and now we're really in trouble. I've done it with the third. It's doable. Pretty hard to do it with a quarterback with 70 overall speed and 70 agility that you made. I dug my own grave on this one. So not great, but not terrible. I wonder if we're maybe a 6th or 7th round draft pick. If I had done passing range better, we'd be drafted for sure. Yeah, so no draft here. And it does tell you what round you're in. It's hard to get into the upper rounds. Not that much farther behind Illinois legend Jack Trudeau there. But we'll go ahead and put us on a team. And then if we ever do unlock that NFL PA team, we've got a free agent here. And there's our starting quarterback. Okay, and that's kind of how that works. So NFL season play. You can do a playoffs or a season. The fun thing with the, I guess, league rules here, we like 3-minute quarters, of course. We want modified, we want Bettis on the Steelers. So the season is 16 NFL games, 17-week season, and then the playoffs just stick you right to the playoffs with random teams in the playoffs. Now there is a way to go ahead and actually play as who you want to in the playoffs. I think if you have your team highlighted in home here and then go to new playoffs, you'll be that 3rd seed. I think it's, the 3rd seed in your conference. So let's try it out. Let's try Panthers. And actually, that's really cool. Your stadium's Death Valley, so you're playing in Clemson this year because, Carolina Stadium hadn't yet been made, but I have to imagine the end zone doesn't say Clemson Tigers. It's still really cool that Death Valley is where you're playing at. And we'll try new playoffs here. Yep, so we're the 3rd seed. And then you get this really cool playoff music. Love this. And you can move it left and right, which as a kid I would just pretend I was doing the TV sportscasting for this. Oh man, it brings back good memories, and maybe it's sad that those are some of my good memories, but these are some of my good memories. And then you get slightly different playoff themed text from John Madden, Pat Summerall when you get in here. Fishing season starts Monday for one of the 2 teams here in Clemson. Oh, they do say Clemson. So you see, like, the flavor text. This time a little bit more fun. And we're not gonna do a full game here, but I do like that not only do they call it Death Valley, they tell you it's Clemson. That's probably something that would be unique to Madden 96. In 97, I'm thinking the stadium in Charlotte had been built, but at this point, there's still no stadium in Charlotte, so you're talking about playing at Death Valley in Clemson, South Carolina. And I think probably the only NFL game where you can play in Death Valley.
First down.
So we're going to go ahead and see if we can cheese a little bit here. I've played so much as the Steelers in my lifetime that I don't really know if the cheese plays work when you're not being played. Oh, see that noise there, that bone-breaking noise means there's an injury. We're going to see Leslie Visser. Just really cool that this feature was in here because, again, this is 1996. We were still getting used to, like, there being stats for a season. We're still getting used to there being a season mode.
What?
Almost got me a jump. And Jeff George. Of course, Kerry Collins is the backup, the second stringer on Carolina. Going into the season, they thought Frank Reich would, the longtime Buffalo Bills QB would be who got him to the promised land, but Kerry Collins, I think, probably took over as a starter during the year because I don't really remember. Interestingly, not only Frank Reich not playing for Carolina, I don't remember Steve Berline doing much with Jacksonville. I think Mark Brunell took over there right away.
First down.
All right, let's just give our quarterback Barry Onyx a chance to shine here.
First down.
See kind of defense up. So they're giving us that 4-3 front with that so Barry Foster. And I don't think Foster actually made the Panthers. He was a longtime Steeler, so it's, kind of someone I have a vested interest in. I kind of remember him not making the team. Purr is the flavor text for the Panthers here. Let's do all in since we're in Death Valley, right?
Touchdown.
So, no incomplete passes in the history of Barry Onyx's career. And here's a cool thing, again. So we can let's end the game now. And that's it. We've won our first playoff game. So they give us everyone, and then we're into the divisional round here. But as fun as it would be, we are going to back out here and do an NFL season as well. Let's cover everything. So the NFL schedule works differently. It's not like Tecmo Super Bowl where you get to pick your team and you'll just play as them automatically. You select which game or games you play during the entire season. So if you want to start as the Patriots and when the playoffs come, move over to the Oilers, you can do that. That's a totally valid option here. I'm trying to think who's got a running back. Obviously the Lions go against the Steelers. Overcast by the looks of things at Three River Stadium. Kind of every open stadium has the same look. Every dome stadium has the same look. So they're already talking about Jerome Bettis, though, for the Steelers. So the flavor text does get updated when you make those trades. And there's a pretty cool feature at the end of every game in season mode that we want to get to. So we're gonna go ahead and see if we can't maybe set a record real fast. We've lost every coin toss. Let's see if we can't set a record somehow with the running play. Actually, I don't know if that would work against Pittsburgh because I think they have the wrong type of defense. That would be good to show too. I always thought if I could get to him before the whistle, it would count as a safety, but I guess spoiler, that doesn't actually happen. And if you make those trades,
First down.
so like for the Steelers now, Jerome Bettis will show up when we scroll through those player pictures. It'll now show Jerome Bettis as one of their players. So if you wanted to, you could make an all-star team and go ahead and show those pictures. I think that's the last thing we'll do here is we'll see if we can't change the overall, because I wonder if that's actually calculated based on your players. And we've started with the Steelers, so I think that's how we'll finish. And of note there, Cordell was still the quarterback, so it looks like that actually does affect. What do you do there? Whenever you make a change in your starters in game, it actually carries over. No, look at that. We're gonna get the good defensive front for it. And Barry is faster than Bam Morris. There is a noticeable difference there.
First down.
We are gonna cheese just to see if we can't break a big one. Sure can.
Touchdown.
So I think we just set the record for longest rush. So remember, if you do not like losing, just hit Y then B. Okay, so we've won this game. Because again, we can just hit end game now. And that actually would scare me as a kid, so. But let's give credit where credit is due here. And yeah, there's definitely a noticeable difference in Barry Sanders' speed. Okay, but in season mode and season mode only, it gives you this like highlight. So Cincinnati is close to Indianapolis. They just need a touchdown you can hit B to see the highlight. So of course we will. You don't get to play this, but you get to see the highlight. And they generally call running play here and don't get it. I've very rarely seen that team actually score the point here. But this is cool. The ticker, you can see all the scores along the league, and this is the actual scores. So you can get a look at what's going to happen before you even get out of here. Unfortunately, you can't skip ahead and like simulate everything. You have to actually manually every week hit start. So this gets tedious. I would like to go ahead and show like what's a season look like when you simulate almost every game, who comes out on top. Anyway, the truth is, even in a really in-depth, really comprehensive review of how this game kind of functions, I think that might actually be a little bit too tedious to do. When I was a kid, though, I thought that the game could hear me, so I would cheer for my team when I was simulating scores. Steelers lost this game. This is week 3 against the Miami Dolphins. They win in this version. Oh, that had to be a barn burner. take a look as we can see league stats. Frank Reich is in first place here. So nice to see Barry Foster getting some catches, as well as Ben Coates. Don Beebe making some things happen. Carolina might be doing pretty well. Let's look at the standings, which you can also do. Now you can see league standings, but AFC, then NF, then your divisional before you get to the next conference. And yeah, the Panthers are actually 1-2, which I was surprising when I saw Don Beebe and Frank Reich up there near the top. So yeah, don't keep track of your stats. You can do team stats as well. So if I just want to see Carolina, that's a lot of passing attempts for 3 games in. He's averaging 50 a game. Okay, so something's wrong here with the simulation. Something's not going right. Because let's look at another team. Let's see if it's all messed up like that. No, the rest of them look okay. Just Carolina, for some reason, I guess because we just played a playoff with them. Does that like make sense that they would be messed up on their stats? Even like, I guess like 30 some attempts a game is possible. Let's reset it and see what happens. Just do one week of stats here. So Steelers won 22-20, and then look at their team stats. I think this is the last game with the Browns and the Oilers in it. Okay, so O'Donnell threw 41 times. That's significant, but not really impossible or excessive. In 1995, it probably would have been. Yeah, look at all those rushing attempts. They're running a lot of plays in this simulation, let's just say that. Okay, so looking at front office though, well, let's look at so 59 overall. Running back is 91 though. I don't know if it like didn't. I think because we had to play original rosters on. Let's see if we do that. Go to a quick computer versus computer here and just kind of see if that changes anything. And then after this, we will go ahead and try to make a super team and just see if that changes much. I remember when I was a kid, my super team would always have a quarterback. I think Stan Humphries and Elvis Gerbach, because I thought RNG, range, meant rating. So I thought, okay, quarterback is like the one place where you can actually see their overall. Okay, so now they are updated. But they like 65 now. But they don't have Bettis' image. Do the Rams have it? God, look at that overall from the Rams. They were all Jerome Bettis. Okay, let's see what we can do. So I think we're gonna want Steve Young. So we're gonna have 2 number 8s. We go with Aikman though. He's got to be the next best quarterback. Let's go Elway. And we'll keep Cordell just because he's got better speed than anyone else. Take Pegram over for Emmitt Smith. And we'll go ahead. Our depth piece will be Barry Sanders. Okay, so we're at 7% here. Let's take a look. They're at 75. Okay, so we get just interesting here. We get Steve Young and Emmitt Smith. We're still not going to get Jerome Bettis. And I don't think, did we get Barry Sanders? So I think maybe the amount of images remains static. And maybe even the positions they're in, because Emmett's halfback number 2 and Eric Pegram was halfback number 2. We can kind of get a feel for like what teams are stacked really based on how we're doing this. One to 49ers next. No, I've passed already, right? So we'll take go ahead and take Jerry Rice at wide receiver number 1. Take Chris Carter at number 2. Now the second 49ers receiver in Tecmo Super Bowl is just halfback or just wide receiver 49ers, but here it is in fact J.J. Stokes and John Taylor on the team, so I've actually got Johnson's better than them. I don't know if I would agree, but can we get Johnston? Will be better. We'll put him at our backup because Williams is actually a pretty solid fullback. Irvin is our third guy, and then kind of a stretch here, but I wonder. Desmond Howard's at 75 speed. Okay. Take Herman Moore as our 4th. I wonder if intelligence means something like how close to the route he actually runs. We want to get rid of Corey Holiday if we can. Can we get Dwight Stone? Or is he a returner? Yeah, he is. Okay. And surely Rocket Ismail is right, so Oilers had that run and shoot offense for so many years. They probably have someone. Illy Jeffries or Jeff Fires can be our 5th. That's fine. Okay, so just doing that with 13% memory. And look at us, we're stacked. Our receiver room apparently could be better, but I think overall pretty solid. And yeah, so you can go ahead and make your own all-star team. Modified rosters. To see if they blow out the Oilers or if it really matters much. Remember, they won 3-0 last time around. And after that, I think we'll simulate to a Super Bowl. Win one, see if they give us the code. So, still a close game. We'll just take who we can get to the Super Bowl with. Yeah, this doesn't look a whole lot like how it turned out. Cardinals, Patriots. The Patriots would make it the next year. Let's go Cardinals. You can kind of see, like, here's how it went through. We get this great music. Cardinals getting through the Lions and the Jeez, I think Bledsoe was always my third quarterback on the team I'd make as a kid. Dave Craig, alright, he had a sore arm practice. I don't think that really matters much. Is there a Super Bowl midfield logo? There is. Super Bowl 30 in Tempe, Arizona. And I've officially lost every kickoff, or every coin toss we did during this. And what we're going to try to do here is just get through. You know, we're going to end the game now, do all that stuff, and see if they'll give us a code for it. We'll at least get the Super Bowl celebration screen, provided we win, but I mean, I've been cheesing for 25 years at this game. I think I can probably pull it off. Do want to thank you for going through this with me. I don't think there's anything quite like this for Madden 96 on the internet, so this is like a super long, just go through everything it does and everything you can do in this game. Can't believe I didn't sack him there. I like punt rush. I don't think I've ever blocked a punt in this game, but this is the one I've always done. It's like a pretty static length of time for the punt, so unless you like put someone in there. Not sure who Arizona's running back is. Got an injury. Garrison Hurst. Okay. Our tight end hurt his ankle. No ambulance in this game. Another injury. Overall, like, I know I'm kind of doing the cheese mode here. Buddy's going to put the hurt on as your Arizona Cardinals sign, but overall, it's a solid game. I don't think it matches up to Tecmo Super Bowl III. 1995 NFL season also has a quarterback club game, also has Sterling Sharpe end-to-end. It's like overall, this is a really good year for Super Nintendo football games. Okay, so here's the Leslie Visser interviewing the champions. The locker room scene, you get four finishing the game, get this really good funky music, and then they give you a code. So what you can do with that code, let's go to play now. This is the last thing we'll do. I'll find the Cardinals eventually. ABBA. And we get the 1975 Cardinals. Apparently a pretty good team. Look at that. We're actually playing at Bush Memorial Stadium. So they give you the old St. Louis Stadium for it. I don't think there was a St. Louis team at this point. I think they're the LA Rams. They might have just moved to St. Louis. You know, you get the historical players. And we go back here. Okay. So yeah, you get the welcome to Bush Memorial Stadium. And the only issue with this, I will say, is it doesn't actually matter. You're at Bush Memorial Stadium. You're at the same, like, grass field you always are. But let's see if we can win one coin toss, then we'll call it a in-depth look. St. Louis choose goal to defend. That is actually really cool. And of course, we still lost the coin toss. We can't end the game now. And it will just give you the 0-0. Reset. And that is everything. So thank you very much. That's the most in-depth look to Madden 96 I think can be done without being overly tedious. Hopefully this will give you some good background noise or something like that if you were a fan of this game growing up, as I was. Again, as far as a rating goes, it's a game I really liked and had a lot of fun with. Looking back and going back historically, I'm glad I ended up getting this game, and a couple years later actually I got Tecmo Super Bowl III, so I grew up with both. Tecmo Super Bowl III is the better game, but this offers more, bigger rosters, kind of a fun selection of historical teams, a lot of things that actually that Tecmo Super Bowl III doesn't have. So it's good to have chocolate and vanilla ice cream if you can get both of them. This is definitely a fun vanilla to Tecmo Super Bowl III's chocolate, and really enjoyed going through it in such detail today.